Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Plan With Me video. My theme for September is Cottagecore. My monthly calendar is very simple and minimalistic, and straight from the bullet journal method. It's a monthly calendar with the days of the week and the corresponding dates side by side. This leaves the page looking clean and open, which is perfect for jotting down small journaling prompts or what you did for the day. My doodles are inspired by the work of Jamie Green, who will be linked down below in the description. She did a cute illustration of cottagecore themed objects, and I recreated them in my journal. She is really talented, so please be sure to check her out. Cottagecore is a trend that has gained a lot of traction over on TikTok. The general vibe and aesthetic is living a simple, rustic life, and hobbies include gardening, baking, and tending to farm animals. The fashion of this trend is prairie dresses, florals, lace, and earthy tones. I feel like during this quarantine, many people were purging their life of social media and the dread associated with the news, and turned to creating. Whether that was baking, artistry, or crafting, it really propelled this lifestyle into modern culture. September is all about the autumn harvest, and what better way to end the summer season than to pretend you're a goat farmer planning for the winter. My September title is in a calligraphy banner with torn edges, which can be found on my inspiration photo from Jamie Green. I found this font by Googling, quote, September cursive, unquote, and it was the top result. So if you like this hand lettering style, it should be pretty easy to find and recreate. I really like the curly letters and the uneven lines to give it a unique and uneven shape. I drew in some little baby mushrooms and filled out my September holidays on the calendar spread to bring home the rustic vibe. I added in some scrap brown paper cuttings. We can pretend it's butcher's paper, but really I used an old Sonic bag and tore it, crumpled it, and stuck it to the page with some washi tape, which I got from the dollar section at Target. This cutout is where I'll put my goals for September. As we know, September marks the end of our quarter 3, so I really need to catch up on my goals I set a little late this quarter. These include texting my family, because honestly, I'm so terrible in keeping in contact with them. I need to write it down to remember. I also want to continue my restorative yoga because my job causes back pain, and it really helps if I dedicate half an hour to an hour really stretching out my muscles. I also have adapted my journaling process to a simple line on my monthly page, and that's just going to go over what I did for the day. If I ever need to explore my feelings deeper, I do have a separate journal for keeping that information, but it's a lot less pressure to keep it to a simple sentence. Finally, since my emergency fund is complete, I want to start paying down my debts, which I use the snowball method for. If you have questions about it, feel free to leave a comment and I'll do an in-depth video about my budgeting style. The next page of my bullet journal is for my budgeting. I really loved pressed flowers, and that was the inspiration for the decorations on this page. I pretend each section is a cutout of glass through which we can see the pressed flowers. Although I don't go crazy into detail with my drawings, when you look at actual pressed flowers, you can see all the veins and variations of colors that we often take for granted. It's very easy to draw the rough outlines of the flower shapes, and our minds will interpret the shapes as flower petals. So if you feel intimidated to start drawing in your journal, doing flowers is a great intro to that. If you want to imitate this spread, I encourage you to add your favorite flowers to this pane of glass. I'll go through and color in the line work with colored pencils after the pen has dried. I have 2 paychecks this month, so only 2 sections where I track my debts, bills, and calculate how much I have to spend for groceries and other miscellaneous expenses. The bottom left-hand corner is for tracking my credit scores, and I just copy my bills and their due dates from the previous month and then check off the box when the bill is paid for this month. My savings goal was reached last month, like I said, so I can start funneling more money towards paying off my debts. On this next page, I repeat my monthly goals in a larger format. Although I already put my monthly goals on my calendar page, this full spread is to break those goals down into smaller tasks so I can track the progress of them a little bit easier. I started doing this a few months ago and I really like it. It's really easy to say, okay, I need to record this, I need to edit this, and so I can stick more to the due dates for things that I enjoy. These will be migrated into my weeklies, which is on the next page. I go ahead and put a smaller calendar in the corner of this page so I can see a snapshot of my month and how many days in the week I have and what week in the month I'm in. And this really helps me coordinate those tasks and lets me see how busy I'll be and what days I need to do which tasks on. So like I said, I use the Alistar method for tracking my weekly tasks, which is a rolling method. It allows a little more freedom between each day, and it's also a great tool for integrating habit trackers instead of having a separate space for those. I highlight the corresponding week to the tasks I want to accomplish, and each week will have its own color. So as you can see, my yoga and my journal I would consider habits, but I just put them in as my weekly tasks. And then each day that I do them, I'll just go ahead and mark that box off that I did do it that day. Finally, September is all about self-care. Not only are there great resources for this through nonprofit and government agencies, but there is a huge advocacy for it across most social media platforms. My favorite self-care content creators on YouTube are Kelly Ann Maddox and Molly Roberts, who will be linked below in my description. I reintroduced the brown paper for theme consistency and then used the larger cutout for listing some self-care habits that I love and bring joy to my life. It's important to make time for self-care each month, but I do want to focus on it a lot more in September since this is usually when my seasonal depression begins. And that wraps up my September Plan With Me video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so my video can be seen by more people. Until next time, have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.